Hi guys and welcome to Odds on Europa League. You were asking for this show, so now that we have the last 32 round, we are going to analyze the best 10 games with Dani Fisichella and Alvaro Romeo. Hi guys.
Hello, ciao.
Hello.
But you can also leave a comment here in the video and you will have the chance to win a £10 free bet with Novibet. Also, you can ask a question to our guys. They will reply. And remember, if you enjoyed the video, click on the like button, subscribe to our channel and click on the bell to get all the notifications. So now, guys, we've picked the best 10 games in our opinion of this last 32 because there are some games that are not really interesting. And let's start with Braga-Roma. Braga is the third in the Portuguese league. They are actually not in a bad run in the tournament. They beat Santa Clara in the weekend and they were second in their group after Leicester City. But here, Roma are favorites. Danny, we always say about Roma that they are doing pretty well in this season. They are third in the Serie A. They beat Udinese in the weekend, but every time they have a strong rival, they lose. So is Braga strong enough for Roma to lose?
That's a good question. We'll probably find out more in these two games. If we look at Roma's form, I think they've never been so close to the top of the Italian league in the last 6 or 7 years, but yet they still seem to be in turmoil. There have been problems within the dressing room, problem with Dzeko. Now the Bosnian is back in the starting 11. Good win at the weekend against Udinese, and they were quite easily qualified in the group stages. The return of Fonseca at the Stadio da Ruccia, because he was managing Braga and qualified them for the quarterfinal in 2016. Braga, not great in Europa League, lost 5 of the last 6 knockout games. It's going to be a tight one. I think Roma will qualify, but they probably will come out with a draw from Portugal. And as you can see, 391.
Also, Alvaro, you think Roma will qualify? More quality, of course, than Braga, but we know these up and downs of the Fonseca team.
Yes, I think that Roma will qualify, but here, since we are just checking the first leg, I would say that Braga is a good team. First of all, they are third ahead of Benfica in the Portuguese Primeira Liga. They haven't lost at home since September, and they came second in their Europa League group. Obviously, they weren't that good in that department in the Europa League, but they managed to qualify for the last 32 round. They've got players who can score like Horta, Medeiros, Fran Sergio, all combined. They have scored 15 goals this season. It's an all right return. And Roma, as Daniele said, I mean, they are third in the Serie A, but at the same time, they haven't managed to do that leap forward to establish themselves in the top of the table or among the top 2. It's very difficult to do that, obviously. So in here, I'm going to back the Portuguese club. I'm going to back an Asian handicap of 0 for the locals. That pays 256 already. And a clean sheet for Braga, which is not a crazy one at all because Braga are a good defense in the Primeira Liga. A clean sheet pays 460.
I still remember some awful trips of Roma to Porto in the Champions League. Hopefully, they are more lucky in this Europa League game. Then we have one of the best games of this last 32 round, Real Sociedad. Man United, this is the 5th of La Liga against the 2nd of the Premier League. But Man United, they are in really poor form. They said goodbye to the title race after drawing against West Brom. And also they drew against Everton. Actually, they are getting really bad results. And this is a very tricky trip to San Sebastián. Now, Alvaro, actually, Real Sociedad, after so many months struggling, they have back-to-back victories against Getafe and Cádiz, and they look a little bit better. So be careful with Real Sociedad, in my opinion.
I shouldn't be saying this because I am from Bilbao and probably many people will hate me for this, but I like Real Sociedad. I think that they are a very good team. They are attractive. They play an appealing football going forward that is worth watching every weekend. And at the same time, if they have any players in the sidelines, they are all back. The likes of Oyarzabal seem to almost, he was about to miss his tire. He is not going to. In fact, he played against Getafe. David Silva is back in contention as well, and he's injury-free. The team is doing well, as you said. They have gotten back-to-back wins in La Liga, and at the same time, Imanol Alguacil was so happy with Real Sociedad's defensive display against Getafe. So it's a good time for them, and at the same time, since the departure of William José to Wolverhampton Wanderers, the Swedish Alexander Isak thinks that he is more important, and he feels that he is the club's number 9, and he's hitting the right numbers. I mean, he's scoring many goals since the turn of the year. So this is a good moment for Real Sociedad against the Manchester United that has a lot of firepower going forward, definitely better players than Real Sociedad, definitely. But at the same time, it's a very dysfunctional team. They can offer the best and the worst. I still remember the Dembaba's goal in Istanbul, or the 3 goals that they conceded at the RB Leipzig ground. So I'm going to back Real Sociedad for a home win here. That pays 3.54 already. And the over 3 goals market is a very appealing too for me as well, because these teams attack better than defense. So the over 3 goals market is interesting. 250 for over 3 goals, obviously. And one little detail, of course, this game is not going to be played at Reale Arena. It's going to be played in Torino. And yet I back Real Sociedad for a home win.
The goal market, I would have gone for the same, over 3, mainly because although we can see Manchester United are the favourites to lift the trophy at the end of the season, 7.5 odds, but I think
why?
this is more exactly why is it?
Why? I mean, Sevilla last season was the 4th or 5th favourite, and they beat Manchester United in Milan. I mean, I really don't believe
I am with you. I think it's more because of the badge they wear than the form. If we look at the top team in the Premier League, they are the 2nd worst defense. We're talking about Man United, who spend a lot of money, invested a lot, and they didn't only buy strikers, they buy the likes of Maguire, the Wan-Bissaka, etc. Tell me one outstanding player in the back line. And please don't tell me that De Gea is the outstanding player, because I think he's good, but he let some goals in. He won't play. He probably won't play in Turin. Having said that, Real Sociedad are a team that likes going forward. Januzaj is an attacking player. He probably wants to vindicate his bad experience at Man United. I'll go for Real Sociedad to score first, 230.
Problems for Man United, as you said, favorite in the outright market. Also, one of the favorites of this competition is Milan, traveling to Belgrade to face Red Star. But Milan, another team that is struggling, 2nd now in Serie A. Inter made the sorpaso in the weekend because Milan played an awful game against Spezia. So many chances for Spezia, and actually in the last 5 games, 3 defeats for the Rossoneri. Of course, huge favorites to beat Red Star. But Danny, it looks like it's going to be too long the season for Pioli's men.
Well, it's a season that started the 17th of September with the first preliminary stage of the Europa League, and now Milan look tired. Obviously, also so many games are catching up with Pioli's men, which we have to say they're being outstanding. Milan being top of the league until last weekend was amazing, considering the resources they have. Now, they look tired since a couple of games already, not just in Spezia. In Spezia was the epitome of their bad display. No shots on goal. The midfielders are not scoring anymore, apart from Kessie. Basically, they lost the way also to get back into games, to come back. Bearing in mind, on Sunday, they just have the small matter of the Milan derby. The following weekend, they go to Rome. So I think they're going to be at least split in 2 minds. However, they want to chase the trophy, maybe because it's the only trophy that Milan hasn't won in their entire history. Going to the Maracanã Belgrade, it's never easy, with or without fans. And also, I think Red Star will be overly motivated because of many factors. They are managed by Dejan Stankovic. He played a decade for Inter. They go Falco up front, Italian. They go Falcinelli up front. It's called, again, the Messi of Belgrade. We will see. Having said that, I think the Serbian are slightly favorite on this game, not for the tie. Go for a double chance. 1x, 1.91.
Good odds if you trust Red Star. Also, Alvaro, you think Zlatan and Sia, they are going to have problems in Belgrade?
I do believe that, as Daniele said, that for the tie, probably Milan is favorite, but for this game in particular, I like the odds for Red Star. Let's don't forget, and let's go very quickly about this. They are top in the Serbian league, but obviously that is something that we take for granted. But the way they are top in the Serbian league is what I like. Look, they have scored 55 goals. They have conceded only 8 goals. They haven't suffered any loss yet. So basically they are playing with their opponents in Serbian football, and this is something that gives you a lot of confidence. They know how to do it, and they are going to be very competitive. I remember Liverpool, for example, a couple of years ago, coming into this ground and suffering a lot, for example. So it's never easy to play over there in Serbia, in the small Maracanã, as Daniele said. So I'm going for the following. And of course, Milan is losing their mojo little by little. I mean, this is unquestionable. You can see it by checking the Italian Serie A table and by checking their latest performances too. So I'm going for an Asian handicap of 0 for Red Star. That triples up your bet. And for example, the first team to score is something that I do like here as well. I'm going to back Red Star for that. That pays 260.
David is asking you guys, any chances for Milan to win the Europa League? What do you think, guys? The odds are 13.0 for the outright market.
They are well equipped for that.
Yeah.
I would say that they've got the means, they've got the quality, but at the same time, the competition is very fierce this season because there are so many good teams. I mean, Tottenham, for example, is one of those that could win it as well. I do believe that Manchester United or Real Sociedad, they could be contenders too. It's going to be a tricky one, of course. Roma as well can do it. And I don't forget about Lille, the French team that is topping the Ligue 1 as well. I mean, there are so many contenders this year.
It's a long season, and I think Milan will have their eyes also on the top 4 finish in Italy, which they haven't achieved in a while. So a bit early to say that, David. If they win.
George is fancying Milan here for this game. The next one, we have Slavia Prague, Leicester City. Leicester doing an amazing job in the Premier League. This is a team that they don't look tired at all. Now they are third. They beat Liverpool during the weekend. Vardy is back after their injury. They were topping their group before Braga and Leicester. They are not that used to play in Europe, so probably this Europa League maybe is a good opportunity for them, although for sure finishing top 4 in the Premier League is the main objective, but the main goal. But be careful, Slavia Prague is a very good team, first in the Czech League with 10 points difference. They showed it very recently in Europe, how good team they are. So I don't know, Alvaro, Leicester, actually the Foxes are very good on the road in the Premier League. You think they are also good here in Europe to beat Slavia Prague? Again, a tricky team.
Yeah, definitely to go through, but Slavia Prague is one of my favorite underground teams in Europe. I mean, last season, let's don't forget that they came last in the Champions League group with Inter Milan, with Barcelona and Borussia Dortmund. And I will say that they were far from ridiculous. I mean, they were fantastic and Barcelona suffered a lot against them. And I do believe that they are a team with an excellent manager, Tripsovsky. I mean, he's doing a great job. There are some players that I rate quite highly, actually. Stanciu, the Romanian player, is a player that I really like. Sima is scoring a lot of goals as well. And at home this season in the Europa League, they beat Bayer Leverkusen, they beat Nice, and they beat Hapoel. So I think that they are competitive. They were in the Europa League quarterfinals in 2019, and they haven't lost so many players from that squad. Only Solsek, who plays for West Ham United right now, is the most important player that comes to my mind right now. So I think that Leicester City are better. Leicester City beat Liverpool in the weekend. They had a little setback of losing James Justin for the rest of the season, which is a pain, obviously, for them. But they are not yet a European power force. They have to prove that they've got the European pedigree. So I'm going for a draw in this game. That pays 355. And the under 2 goals market, I really fancy that as well because Slavia Prague is good defensively. That pays 270.
I think Leicester are very good in the league. I mean, the results said that obviously they are unbeaten in the last 10. As Edu said, they are not quite there in Europe. Only won 1 of the last 7 away games in Europe. And again, last year, they missed on the Champions League qualification spot after the lockdown. Maybe this year they got their eyes on that. But again, I think they can qualify in the second leg. We will see changes in Leicester City, probably Ineacho coming in, Under. Maybe the players have played a little bit less. With Slavia Prague, 25 goals scored in the last 7 domestically. I'm going to go for them to score first, for the Czech team to take the lead, 240.
Let me know, guys, if Tottenham could have the same problems as Leicester City. They have an easier rival for sure, Wolfsberger. 6th in the Austrian Bundesliga, so they are not good at all in the domestic tournament. They ended up 2nd in their group after Dinamo Zagreb, but Tottenham, they are awful this season. Mourinho can blame everything, but they are ninth now in the Premier League. They lost 3-0 against Man City, no problem with that. But the thing is that the Europa League might be the only solution for their really poor season.
And their only solution to play the Champions League as well next year. Let's don't forget that the winner goes automatically to the Champions League. I think that Tottenham, they have a manager who knows how to win this competition. That it's important to mention. I mean, Mourinho won the UEFA with Porto, the UEFA Europa League with Manchester United, and they've got the best player in the tournament, at least for me, which is Harry Kane. So I think that, those are always positive things to have at your side, a manager who wins or who has won it, and a striker like Harry Kane. However, Tottenham, since the win against Manchester City on the 21st of November, they have 16 points out of 42 in the Premier League. They have scored 15 goals. They have conceded 16. They are in a very bad run domestically, and many players are going through a crucial time of their career. And I don't know if this is going to turn out well for them. Dele Alli, Lucas Moura, Harry Winks. So, yeah, it's a tricky time for Tottenham, but at the same time, Wolfsberger is the first time for them in the Europa League knockouts. They promoted to the Austrian top flight only 9 years ago. And yes, they are not very good in the league right now, but let's don't forget that the Austrian league has playoffs. So, who knows, maybe in the playoffs they can catch up with the leaders and they can do a better job than they are doing right now in the league. So, yeah, I will back Tottenham strongly here to win away. I'm going to keep it for the handicap. But to Spurs to score in both halves is something I like. That doubles up your money. And an Asian handicap of +1 for Wolfsberger. If you think that the Spurs are going to win, but not for such a margin, it's an interesting one too. But I'm backing Spurs here strongly. Spurs to score in both halves is something I like.
I think if Spurs play with the first team, they are definitely favorite to win this competition. But depends when Mourinho is going to put the big guns in for this game. Probably not at this round. Probably for the next one. Bale, who knows? Still problems with Bale. Is he going to play or not? I think the problem with Tottenham is that becoming very predictable. I mean, when they play against Man City at the weekend, you could have tell whatever every player would have done and how the action would have developed. They lack that spark, that creativity. Unless it's the genius of Son and Kane doing something, it's very stale. You would say that the novelty has worn off quite quickly with Tottenham, and they need to find something else. They are lucky because probably they play one of the weakest team on the card. The only things that we can say about Wolfsberg is that they managed to knock out CSKA Moscow, and CSKA Moscow are second in the league in Russia. So they must be doing something right for knocking out such a team, as well as Feyenoord. I would say Tottenham should be our favorite. So let's go for half-time, full-time, Tottenham win. So away, and that pays 2.17.
Really favorite the Spurs. Probably another big team in Europe like Leverkusen might suffer more in Switzerland against Young Boys, also because Young Boys, they are doing very good in the Swiss League, first with 16 points clear on top of the table, 5 victories in a row. They were second in their group against Roma, and Leverkusen is one of these teams that are struggling right now. They are 5th in the Bundesliga. They lost the top 4 position. During the weekend, they drew against Mainz, and since that defeat against Bayern Munich, where they could be topping the table, actually they are going down and down and down. So, Danny, do you see problems here for Leverkusen?
Well, Leverkusen, I think, despite all you said, which is right, they still, I think, deserve credit because, I mean, they lost 2 of the best players in the summer. They lost Kai Havertz, they lost Kevin Volland, who went to Monaco. It's not easy to replace them after all. And last year, they finished 5th. 2 years ago, they finished 6th. So they are pretty much where they should be, I think, in the league. However, they can do more, as surely in the European competition, they could target a trophy. Let's just say that they've got a very strong defense, third best defense in Bundesliga, less goal conceded than Bayern Munich, so that's something to consider. Lost 4 out of the last 7, though, so they don't come in a great run of form, but they can count on some players who are doing better than last year. Lucas Alario already scored 13, better better than last year. Patrick Schick, the new signing, scored 8, so probably it's going to end up in double figure. They play a young boys team who got the league wrapped up, plus 16 points on Basel, so they are clear. They're going to win the 4th consecutive title. However, they won 10 of the last 11 games, so they could be tricky. But I think Leverkusen, this one, they're gonna win it. And as you can see, 2.11, I think is a good odd. Go for the away win.
Good odds, yeah, for Leverkusen. Also, Alvaro, you trust here the German team?
I'm going for young boys in this case. I mean, they are leading the league with 47 points. Obviously, we have to take into consideration that this is the Swiss league. But Bayer Leverkusen, they are a team that they always underachieve. I'm sorry, but the last time they won a proper title was in the 90s. I mean, they have never won a Bundesliga, and they've been always there. So they are underachievers. And in the meantime, clubs like Wolfsburg, Kaiserslautern, they won the Bundesliga title. Leverkusen hasn't. So historically, they are a team that underachieves. And it's true, they have lost 2 important players, and I do believe that in Bundesliga this season they will struggle to qualify for the Champions League. So, since young boys have conceded only 15 goals domestically this season, I'm going to go for the under 2 goals market, and that pays 370.
Another interesting game, especially for the name of the clubs, but they are not in their best. Benfica Arsenal, a game that is going to be played in the Olímpico in Rome. Benfica 4th in the Portuguese league. We are not used to see them there. Actually, most of the times in the last 5 years, they've won the title, and even they couldn't top their group in the Europa League. Glasgow Rangers were the first one. And what to say about Arsenal, 10th right now in the Premier League. At least during the weekend they beat Leeds, but is one of the best teams in the Europa League. No, maybe here, Alvaro, they can find some happiness in Europe.
I'm going for Benfica this time, Edu. I'm sorry, but not sorry for you, sorry for the Arsenal fans, but I do believe that Benfica can consider themselves as good as Arsenal. They've got a great manager like Jorge Jesus. The only problem is that this is not working so well. We thought that after his successful period in South America, he was going to translate all that to Portugal again. It's not happening yet. But Benfica has a tremendous team. They did a really good investment in the summer. And since in the league, it's impossible to win it already, I think that they will focus in the Europa League. So this is something that Benfica, I'm sure that at home, well, even though they play, as you said, in a neutral venue, but Benfica can beat Arsenal, definitely. I think that Arsenal is a very dysfunctional team. I think that there has been a slight improvement over the last 2 or 3 weeks with Arteta. And I rate the Spanish manager, and I rate some Arsenal players. So Aubameyang is scoring finally again. But still, I really do fancy Benfica squad, and some of the players they've got are differential, like Everton, Cebollina, the Brazilian guy. So I'm going for Benfica to win. That triples up your money. And an Asian handicap of 0 for Benfica. If you are a little bit more doubtful about Benfica's victory, that pays 215.
I think for Benfica, the best has yet to come. We have to remember this is a squad that has spent almost 100 million in the summer, and some of the investments look good. Luka Waldschmidt from Freiburg, David Nunez already scored 12. They bought him from Almeria. They missed Ruben Diaz. Again, it's not easy to replace such a key figure straight away. And also, they have a very good history at home when they play knockout games. They won 9 consecutive Europa League knockout games at home. So it can be quite intimidating to go to the lose. The only caveat is that this season, Benfica has never beaten a top team. They lost to PAOK in Champions League, lost 2 draws against Rangers, lost to Sporting, lost to Braga twice, lost to Porto. Something has to give. They should beat Arsenal maybe, which again, 3 defeats in the last 4. I'm going to go for Benfica to score first, which is possible, I think, considering also Arsenal will probably rest some players because they play Man City on Sunday. 2.10, Benfica to score first.
Actually, here we have Harry telling us that he's going to back Benfica. George is going to back Arsenal. For sure, is one of the most interesting draws in this Europa League last 32 round. Then we have Granada, Napoli. Also, interesting one, historic game for Granada, team that they are not in Europe, and they managed to qualify to this round. They are so tired, Alvaro. We've been saying this in all our videos. In odds on La Liga, they started the season very early. They have a short squad, and now at this stage of the season, they look completely tired. They lost in the weekend against Atletico de Madrid, whereas Napoli, they were about to sack Gattuso, but they managed to beat Juventus. Very lucky, I would say, but they beat Juventus. So here, Granada or Napoli, Alvaro?
Well, I'm going to do a proper scan of Granada. Maybe Daniele can do the same thing with Napoli. I'm going to back Napoli here. Edu, answering to your question. Napoli to win pays 220. This is a difficult time for Granada. I think that the Europa League has given them confidence and has made them understand that they can compete in the European level with anybody. Let's don't forget that they had a really tough group stage with PAOK, with PSV, and they managed to go through. So let's not forget that. But the current moment of Granada is difficult. Look, this season, with the short squad, as you said, which you were very right to say, they used already 33 players because they had to use the academy at some point because they had a COVID outbreak in the team. They have used already 33 players this season. Diego Martinez is doing all the possible combinations. They did have many ways of scoring goals with Molina, with Soldado, with Luis Suarez, but Luis Suarez and probably Soldado will be out of this game as well, which is a tremendous blow for Granada as well. And until Monday, until 2 days ago, Granada was the team who had conceded more goals in La Liga. Then Athletic Club Bilbao scored 4 against Cádiz, and Cádiz is the team that has conceded more. But Granada defensively is quite bad this season. So I'm going for a Napoli win here, as I said before. And if you think that Granada can offer a proper fight, put a fight, then go for an Asian handicap 0 for Granada. That pays 261. But Napoli, I think that they are the favorites here.
I'm not so confident about Napoli, and I'm going to do my scan now on them. And I think, first of all, they'll miss a lot of players. They missed Manolas, Koulibaly, Mertens, and now Lozano for 1 month. Having said that, this is a team that is not creating many chances despite having the best players up front. You know, a team that's got Insigne, Zielinski, and the so-mentioned Mertens, Manolas. They haven't created much in the last 5 or 6 games. And I think it's because sometimes Gattuso tries to go behind his own nature. Gattuso needs to play, and where he's at best, it's like when he was like a player sometimes, Italian style. And Napoli is built to suck up the pressure and hit you on the counter with quick players. If Napoli start playing a little bit of tiki-taka, Sarri ball, trying to push the line too high, then they get exposed and they end up clogging up all the areas up the pitch. So against Juventus, that's exactly what Gattuso did. They reverted back to sit back and hit them on the counter, and that worked. However, for this particular game, probably Napoli is going to make changes because they are fourth in they are 2 points behind the fourth in the league. They are chasing that Champions League spot desperately, and they lost the last 3 away games as well. So I think they can qualify still, but this game comes in a very bad time for them. So because of Napoli's absentees, I'm going to go for under 2 goals. I can't expect too many goals, as Alvaro said as well. Granada is going to miss the 2 main strikers. So under 2 goals, 2.63.
Napoli struggled on the road. Yeah, they lost the last 4 away games. Let's see. Also, we have an interesting one. Lille Ajax, the first of the competition in France against the first in Holland. In the Eredivisie, Ajax, they were again a bit unlucky in the Champions League, not qualifying for the last 16 round. They have a very tough group with Liverpool and Atalanta. In the Eredivisie, they are topping the table, 6 points advantage with PSV, so probably is one of the favorites actually to go into the last stages of this Europa League. But they were very unlucky because Lille, they are a very good team. They drew in the weekend. But I don't know here, Danny, who you fancy? Lille, Ajax, I think is a very balanced draw.
Probably is the game to watch as well. If you're a neutral, it's a very balanced game. I fancy slightly Lille because, first of all, they have a very good defense. 7 clean sheets in the last 8, and they also managed to keep PSG at bay, 0-0, when PSG still had Neymar. So credit to Lille. Also, they show that they have good European experience. This team won 3-0 in Milan against Milan when Milan was still flying, 1-1 at the reverse. And, they qualified in a group with Celtic that wasn't easy. They are top of the league, so obviously they are confident. In terms of Ajax, unlucky for them, they're going to miss Sebastian Haller. And, I think that's also a bad omen. When your best signing, you don't put it in because of an admin error, probably you're asking for trouble. And also Haller is having a good impact so far in the Eredivisie. So they only beat Midtjylland away this season. I remember the game in Bergamo. They squandered 2 goals. Are they still lacking experience? I don't know. I'm not convinced this Ajax is so good on the eyes, but then are they actually practical enough to put games away? I'm going to go for an Asian handicap of Lille of 0, which is conservative. Mind you, you're going to get your money back if they draw, which pays 2.02.
51 odds for Lille to win this Europa League. Alvaro, Ajax or Lille here?
That's a very good question. I really think that this is one of the toughest and tightest tires of the whole last 32 round. So, look, I'm going to say a couple of very good things about Lille. I mean, they haven't lost a big game this season. They have conceded only 15 goals, and they have drawn with Olympique Lyon and PSG at home, and they have beaten Monaco. I'm talking about the teams that are surrounding them on the table, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. At home, those clubs, they haven't been able to get the 3 points at Lille's ground. So this is a team that has the know-how. They know what they are doing, and they are defending very well as well. And then they've got good scorers like Yilmaz or David, for example. So, I think that they are going to put a fight. I don't know if until the end to PSG, but definitely until April, which is already much better than any other team has done over the last 2 years in French football. So I'm going here for the under 2 goals. That pays 2.95, and I do believe that Lille is going to manage to put this game in the scenario they really want, the low-scoring game scenario.
You guys love Lille. Let's see if they put some battle to Ajax. Then the last game we have is Salzburg, Villarreal. Salzburg, another team that did it pretty well in the Champions League, but they had Atletico de Madrid and Bayern Munich, although they were this close to qualify for the last 16 round. They are first also in the Austrian Bundesliga, 6 straight victories in all competitions, so they are in form. All the opposite as Villarreal, they lost against Betis, and is Alvaro, another team that looks bad in the last games, 4 winless games in all competitions, 5 in La Liga, a struggling Emery's team, but Emery is very good in this kind of competition, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. He knows how to win it. He won it between 2014 and 2016, 3 years straight. So, don't write off a team of Unai Emery in the Europa League, obviously. History is endorsing him. At the same time, I think that Unai Emery right now is a little bit nervous. The other day in La Liga, he was sent off for talking too much to the ref. The ref said that and wrote down that Unai Emery was a little bit aggressive. Unai Emery denies that, but that tells you a little bit that Villarreal is losing grip with the top 4, and Unai Emery is feeling it. I think that the game against Betis showed one thing. Villarreal 2 months ago was negotiating well games against the likes of Betis, Athletic Club Bilbao, against the likes of Real Sociedad, and now they are struggling against these teams as well. So I think that this is not the greatest moment for Villarreal. I do believe, however, that this tire is very, very, very tight. But for this game in particular, I'm going to back Salzburg to win. That pays 2.35. And Salzburg, who are a scoring machine because they go forward a lot, Salzburg to score in both halves, that triples up your money. And it's a very interesting way of making the most of your money too.
Salzburg have got the league pretty much wrapped up, plus 19 on Rapid Vienna. They play at the weekend against Rapid Vienna, but I think that should not be a concern for them. And let's remember that Salzburg in the Champions League, they put under pressure Bayern Munich. They give a good fight. They put under pressure also Atletico Madrid. At the end of the day, in the very last game of the group, Atletico Madrid went to Austria needing 2 results out of 3, but it wasn't straightforward as the scoreline suggested. So Salzburg, I think they are acquiring that experience, that pedigree in Europe. They are unbeaten in the last 7 Europa League games at home. And, the only caveat is that they'll have to do it without Shabolzai, who went to Leipzig in January. So that could be something, a little bit of a concern. But Paston Daka from Zambia already scored 20 goals. Sekou Koita from Mali already scored 16 goals. They can score. Let's see what kind of formation Emery put on if he plays with Alcacer, who hasn't played much in the Europa League so far, although he scored, if he plays with Gerard Moreno. So I can see goals over 3.5, 2.70.
Very difficult trip for Villarreal. Then, guys, we've checked the best 10 games in our opinion. We have many games in these last 32 rounds, so we can make an ACCA. Let's start with you, Danny.
Okay, 5 games. Real Sociedad and Man United both to score. Slavia Prague and Leicester City, again, both to score. Win for Tottenham. Benfica to take the lead against Arsenal. And finally, a win for the Austrian, for Salzburg. And the total odds are 21.93.
We will write everything down in the description so everyone can check it. After, Alvaro, your ACCA?
Yes, of course. Spurs to win away at Wolfsberger. Over 3 goals in the Real Sociedad Manchester United game. Then an Asian handicap of 0 for Benfica against Arsenal and Napoli to win. That will pay 17.38.
All right. Then thank you. Guys, we've analyzed a lot of games in this Europa League. European football is back. And all the people watching this video, remember, you can leave a comment in the video for the chance to win a £10 free bet with Novibet. And you can help us. If you enjoyed the video, click on the like button, subscribe to our channel, and click on the bell to get all the notifications. Tomorrow we have Serie A video. So, guys, thank you very much. We will be back with more European football soon.
It's been a pleasure, Edu. Bye-bye.
Bye.